Tash and I have got a lovely guest today. We've got a very handsome, distinguished man, which, considering how he started, is very strange. This is Bobby Hart, or as he's now known, Robert Hart. And he's going to tell us about his incredible life and how he's gone from being a rock and roller to a very interesting, different sort of man. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Debbie. Hello, Tash. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming.
That's my pleasure.
So, how did it all start? You started in the business. You were a support act with Jim.
Well, I met Jim in 1982, and he kindly invited me onto his show, and I had 9 minutes.
And what did you do?
Not a lot, really, in 9 minutes, but I had a lot of fun, and I learned. I know Jim always. I learned a lot from Jim, the stage presence and all that stuff. And I think it was like a 20-week season or something, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Not only about singing.
Yes. Well,
lots of things.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So you were a musician. What did you do?
I was a musician. I was a football player first.
Yeah.
I was a professional football player for Leeds. When I was 15, I was signed, and then I discovered girls and alcohol.
Oh dear.
And then I moved on.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you became, after doing all this, you got into some really good bands, didn't you?
I did. I was in. My favourite band as a kid was Bad Company.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting on the bus looking at their albums, thinking, oh, and daydreaming. And then one day I got the call to join them.
How did that happen? I mean, how exciting as well for some, for them to be your idols at the time, and then to be part of it.
It was very strange. I was asked to join Foreigner. You remember the band Foreigner? And I went to New York to rehearse with them, and it didn't work out for me because songs are very high. And but the management of Foreigner managed Bad Company, and they'd fired their singer, and so I happened to be there at the right time and.
Right place, right time.
It was
the right vocal range.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was fortunate. So I spent 10 years with them, travelling around the world, and
And being a rock star.
Well, whatever that was, it was good fun.
What at that time? What was the biggest problem? Because obviously, rock and roll normally drink, drugs, partying, lots of women.
It was one of those things that you don't plan on. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
They call addiction the great remover, and it sort of was beginning to remove everything from my life.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. That's
the great remover.
Wow.
And then I was married at the time, which didn't help. And then my wife ran off with my best friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still miss him, but...
Yeah.
So it was,
Well, when did you realise you were addicted? I mean, because doesn't it take time to suddenly think...
Well, suddenly it's like an invisible line. You sort of cross this line, you get to this line, before you know it, you've stepped over it. And you realise I want to stop, and then all of a sudden you can't stop. And
so what part of your career were you at this point? Because you must have been still quite high.
It was very
high in
successful
your
at that point, especially in America. It was going quite good. But I guess it's one of the pitfalls, isn't it? It's like they give you everything with one hand and take it away with the other hand.
Yeah.
But I do regret certain things, but I'm...
So tell us what happened after you crossed the line and realised the great remover.
Well, the great remover started removing everything, and then it almost removed me. So I wasn't prepared to stop, really, because life was good and you make money and you do this and do that. But people were beginning to remove themselves from me. I wasn't making some of the gigs and...
What, just not turning up?
And so what were you taking, cocaine?
Cocaine. My rock bottom was, I was at a party one time, I don't know if I should say this really, but I was always drunk and the booze had run out and the coke had run out and somebody offered me some heroin. And I remember taking it and falling down. I thought, if I get up, I'm going to do this again. So I realised that the problem was bigger than me. You know, I couldn't control myself.
But do you think it helped your creativity?
Do you know what? I haven't had any success since. No.
But that's
most of the songs that I went to work for Whoopi Goldberg, writing film sound music. That's when all the trouble started, really. I went to work for her, and we were talking about since we were sober and having success or whatever, but most of my creativity came when I was off my trolley. And
probably that is why it's addictive as well, because you feel you can do anything. You can
it
rule
was-
the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I wonder if it's spiritually, if it opens a channel.
Well, it opens many things, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I much prefer to be less successful and be
Yeah.
where I am today. And
Such a lovely thing
Well,
to
you
say.
might not be sitting here today
no,
Had
I was
you
told I
not-
shouldn't be, but
had you not have taken that route.
yeah.
But sometimes I get to the point where I just, not even, going out, and I just don't want to drink anything, and it's fine. But then you see how ridiculous
Yes.
other people look.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
spend all my next days apologising to people. Did I do? Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to wake up in funny places, and
Yeah.
but
It happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
But the drink and the drugs together, the cocaine and the alcohol together, it is lethal, isn't it?
lethal because you can drink all day
yeah.
and just keep going. And yeah. Oh.
So do you now work with people to help them?
Yes. I've been to an AA meeting this morning and gave my
So are
story.
you?
and
Do you sponsor certain people
yeah,
that are
sponsor
just
people and
people that are just starting
yeah,
to join? And
yeah, it's a terrible illness. It's I mean, I laugh and joke about it, but it's a killer.
yeah,
And you don't have a choice over it when it gets you. Yeah, I'm just very thankful that I'm still here.
Does it run in
Yeah.
your family? Were you?
No, not at all. My mum didn't drink at all. My dad, maybe a beer here and there, But my mum encouraged me to drink because she said that's what rock and roll people do. She said, go on,